Guess who's got a job interview tomorrow, which is when this video is going out. Whatever. Me. I have a job interview, and it's actually giving me a pretty good idea for a video. I originally did have a script, but today we don't. Oh, oops. Didn't mean to hit you there. Today we don't. Today we don't have a script. Today we're going to be talking about how the job market in 2026 sucks. I know that's like kind of common knowledge, but it really does suck. Like, I have been looking for the past 2-3 years for a job, and I'm just now getting interviews or like people actually responding to my applications, whether it's like a rejection or not. That's insane to think about. It has taken me 3 years just to start getting responses from people. And I'm here to tell you, don't waste your frickin' time with retail jobs. Don't waste your frickin' time with fast food restaurants. You know why? Because everyone's applying there. So if you don't have like a lot of experience already under your belt, you are not going to get a job. And the place that I applied to was a carpet cleaning company. They don't just do carpets and stuff, but it's taken me that long, and I'm finally applying to jobs outside of my comfort zone with the same resume. Well, obviously I've updated my resume and all those sorts of things, but pretty much the same resume, and these jobs that are paying more than retail and fast food are actually reaching back out to me wanting to interview me. That is insane. That's how much the job market sucks. And the thing is, like, you know, I'm a freshman in college, and all throughout high school, I just could never, ever get a job. Like, I had volunteer work, I had skills, I had qualifications, but like, they would either reject me saying you're not qualified enough. It would be like entry level or like jobs specifically for high schoolers, and I'd still get rejected. How insane is that? What? But you know, now that I've applied to this job that pays way better than retail or fast food, I'm actually getting a response, and a response that will hopefully lead somewhere. Like, I just finished writing out, you know, any and all answers that I might have to say for like any possible questions tomorrow. And I'm like, dude. And you know, I'll probably be working with people that are older than me because, you know, of the nature of this company. But I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. And you know, I did actually have a scheduled interview with a fast food restaurant, and it would have been on Saturday this week, but then they canceled my interview saying that the position was already filled. It would have been paying me like $13-14 an hour. Meanwhile, this other place that I applied to, the base pay is like, I think, at least $17-18 an hour, and that's like without the commissions and tips that I would probably get. So I'm like, dude, what? I mean, obviously, if you want to go into like fast food and retail and like you live in a small town where that's actually possible, go for it. But because of the place that I live, it's not possible. You'll go into like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a place off the top of my head. You'll go into like a Dairy Queen or a Burger King, and there will be like 50 people working in there. And you'll go into other places, and there will be people working there that are so mean and hostile, and I'm like, how come those people can get jobs like this, but I can't? What's that about? But it's not just terrible for teenagers and, you know, people my age. It's also really bad for like older retired people. They can't live anymore. That's more economical than it is the job market, but they kind of go hand in hand. They can't live anymore off of like social security checks and whatever, and they can't retire. They're still gonna have to go back for part-time work even after retiring just to be able to keep their house or wherever they live. And that's insane to think about. And this is not a politics thing. This is just like the state of the world, and has been the state of the world numerous times. It's just getting worse for some reason, and I don't know whether that's, you know, the government or not. I mean, I could know, but I don't want to talk about it because, you know, you could just do your own research on that. Again, I'm a commentary channel. I don't want to talk about politics on here. Yeah, I just want to come on here and say that. Say, you know, I might have a job at some point within the next, like, few weeks. Might have a job offer within the next few days. I'm definitely gonna, like, think on it, though. Just in case I get another interview. The chances of that happening are slim to none. I'm also going to try to record another video for Monday, which is going to be the original video I had planned for today. So, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else that I really want to talk about as far as, you know, how badly the job market sucks. But, you know, don't waste your time with, you know, a job where there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people applying, because again, the chance that your application and resume is going to be seen is just very minimal. I just stopped caring about these retail and fast food companies and corporations and chains and stuff. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time and energy waiting around to hear something back. Like, I applied to this one restaurant earlier this year. I applied like 3 times over the span of 3 months. And I finally heard back after the 3rd month of them saying all the positions were full. But I applied multiple times. It was probably more than 3 times, actually. Multiple times. And then it took them 3 months to be like, all the positions are filled. It's not worth it. And I'm trying to save you the stress and the trouble of going through what I've been going through. You know, as someone who's been applying to jobs for like almost 3 mother effing years. But again, it also depends on where you live. I don't live in like a densely populated area, but I live in a populated enough area where it's impossible to get a job at like retail or fast food unless you already know someone that works there. Which is another topic, which is another thing, because how is it that you can't get a job on your own anymore? You need to know someone or have like a hell of a lot of experience, and then you end up making peanuts. What is that about? You can have like a master's degree and still not be able to get a job. You can have as much volunteer and intern work as humanly possible and still not get a job. Especially if the volunteer and intern work was in the field that you're trying to go into, you still won't be able to get a job. I've seen it all over TikTok. So many people, left, right, and center, will be like, I got my master's. I have this many hours of volunteer work, this many hours of being an intern, and I still can't get a job at somewhere like Target or somewhere like, I don't know where else, Chick-fil-A. I can't. And it's like, college isn't even worth it anymore, because back in the day, and I remember this, and anyone else who's like part of Gen Z might also remember this, that if you went to college, you'd have a very secure chance of getting a job. Or if you stayed in school, you'd be able to get a really good job, and to not ever drop out of school because you'd end up working at McDonald's. But the people that are getting master's degrees are still working at McDonald's because they just can't get a job any higher up than that for some weird ass reason. I don't know. Also, excuse my language, but I don't know. It's just ticking me off. And in the next video, well, no, not in the next video, in next Friday's video, I will let you all know whether or not I got the job, and, you know, whether or not I'm starting the job soon. But until then, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.